Good evening and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast. There's not going to be much to talk about tonight because City have not really done out over the weekend. Good evening, Anne-Marie. Good evening, Paddy. Good evening, Stan. And good evening, everybody who's in the chat already. How is everyone?
Good.
Been up to much over the weekend? Watched any football around?
No, there's nothing exciting, man.
No. Stan.
Yes, mate.
We've just been chatting, and I said we was brilliant yesterday. You said we was better than brilliant. I have you right on that one, mate. I just thought from minute one, we were just brilliant. Well, was it 73% possession overall? But the chances we had, we'll go through the goals and stuff like that one by one in a bit. But overall, that'll do. Won't wait. City back.
I'm going to leave the chat now with an 100% record of what I said was being correct. We were better than brilliant. I won't get any better than that today, so I'm off. Bye, everyone.
yeah. See you, Stan.
No, it was. I mean, all right. There was a couple of mistakes in there, and you can lambast them. But again, we're back to. Do you think the referees and the opposition have found a way to beat City? Just, stop the ball when it should be played and then carry on playing the ball when a whistle should have gone for offside. That's 2 now in 3 games. He might be all right, Edison, but that's not the point. Let's start addressing the things that are wrong with the game.
Yeah.
And,
okay. Right. So from my perspective, it was built up by the Geordie boys, again, who, in my opinion, they've become the new Arsenal fans this season. Before a ball was kicked, they had that expectation that they was going to do this, do that. But that's got to be done on the pitch, hasn't it, Paddy?
Absolutely. Just going back to that point Stan's made, but when the offside flag is up or when it doesn't go up, I think when was that rule brought in? Or I don't. Why is it there? Like, people are getting hurt, not only our players, but like Stones and Edison. I know Edison put a post up today says that he's okay, but like there was 3 Newcastle players offside leading to that injury, and he kept the flag down.
You see, the thing is, Paddy, you're right there, and there is an inbuilt part of that law that should stop it. Now, if he made a mistake and it was minimal and it wasn't clear and obvious, then fair enough, they can always review it. But that was clear and obvious. And they seem to apply the law how they want, when they want, with 2 conflicting laws in there to give them the way out, if you see what I mean. Do you know what I mean, Anne-Marie?
Yeah. But I think it's been in for, it's not just this season. I think it was in towards the end of last season. And we've been unfortunate that we've had 2 players have to be substituted because of that rule. And even at the start of the season when the rule was brought in, even the pundits were saying, it will cause an injury. Now, we've had 2 because of it. And I'm all forgiving the attack, the benefit of the doubt. But, somebody's going to get seriously injured. Whether it's one of our players, somebody else, I don't know. But somebody's going to get a real serious injury because that ball, when it went into the back of the net, there was 2 players went in on Edison, Walker being one of them, and your man from Newcastle. Now, I think the damage was done to Edison by Walker, not the Newcastle player. But the Newcastle player could quite easily have caught Edison in the head, which would have been a whole different ball game, because that's a more serious thing. So I think there has to be a point where we're getting rid of that rule. It's either offside or it isn't offside. You didn't need to wait for that phase to finish.
And you know something, Anne-Marie, I get you on that. I wouldn't have a problem with Ederson getting injured if the Newcastle player was onside, you know, and making that save as it were, or whatever. However, now we get into the situations with, like as you say, we've lost Stones now through an unnecessary off. You know, when it was offside, when they should have flagged. Now we've lost Ederson. People are saying that Ederson's all right. Fortunately, we've got 2 weeks rest now anyway. But there was pictures of a big hole in Ederson's leg. I don't know if anyone's seen that. So it looked quite nasty. So that's just City players what have been injured through this stupid rule. I'm not saying they should change this rule just because 2 City players have been injured this season. I'm saying change the rule because somebody's seriously going to get injured through it, be it a broken leg or something like that. Because after that, they seem to be flagging willy-nilly then for offsides. So somebody somewhere must have gone, you know, something. We need to start putting the flag up a little bit earlier, how it used to be. It's just, thanks, Martin, as well. 6 months member, you mad man.
I think they're scared, Andy. I think they're unsure, and I think they're just waiting for VAR to correct them. They're afraid to make a decision. But there's one thing, and I know we spoke about this before, about the corruption and the refs and stuff like that, but I definitely think there is an agenda against us. And that was proved again yesterday when your man, I think it was Longstaff, took Rodri down.
Yep.
Andy Gray says, Eddie Howe, he'd be glad he made that tackle because he was through. And then 5 minutes later, Silva made the tackle and got booked. But the Newcastle player didn't get booked for the very same foul.
Stan, do you want to know what gives me a little bit of a smile now? When I called
Not
out,
really.
Oh, matron. I called out corruption and all that right at the start, and people, including some of the panelists, Paddy, said corruption. Don't be silly. But everyone's seen it now. We're getting ex-football players saying it's corruption. It's legal. It's legalized corruption. You know, we've seen a clip now of Ben Foster. I don't know if anyone's seen that knocking about, where it's well known within the game that decisions, not the right decisions, are given against them. And I got a bit of pelters yesterday on Twitter because I was like, get Rodri off. And people were going, how can you take Rodri off? I thought Rodri was on the verge of getting sent off yesterday for no reason, but mainly because of the way he reacted. Thankfully, he calmed himself down in the second half, but we could have lost Rodri yet again. At the end of the day, it would have been his discipline and stuff like that, going at the referee and saying, you know, why you book me, and so on and so forth. However, that was born out of an absolutely disgraceful decision, because you're seeing yet again that Bruno, I want to come to City, tackles flying in on him. I thought he should have had 2 yellow cards yesterday, but it seemed to go away a little bit. So despite, and going back to what you said, Paddy, about all the things what have gone against us and stuff like that, the only people who are going to beat City this season is City if we don't put our chances away, because before Newcastle scored, we should have been out of sight. But as Martin said there, Dubravka was exceptional for them. He made some great saves. But let's go through the goals anyway.
See on that topic, that Newcastle goalkeeper, he had on his hand for over 20 seconds 4 times, because I actually timed him. Ederson did that once and he got out. And they were 2-1 up at that stage. And he was retaining
I'll tell you what, Andy.
Go on, Sam.
Yeah, you were right there, Andy. There was a couple of things you said in there that I wanted to mention. Yesterday, you know, you could see the commentator and the co-commentator pointed it out that, why are two different... They can't come out and say they're cheating, obviously, but they can say, and they did say, why was that given against Rodri and why was it not given against Newcastle? And they actually turned around when Pep was berating. I mean, you could argue he should have got a yellow card for that because he was absolutely berating the fourth official, and they said it's justified. Now, when you're in a position where you can do that and be justified, something's gone on that pitch. They're never going to call it out for cheating, but they can point out when there are inconsistencies that are very, very dubious, shall we say. And you're right about Rodri. Sometimes you don't make substitutions that a player's not playing very well. By that, I mean, you've got to think sometimes that if this guy's on a yellow and it looks like he's going to go off, you're going to be down to 10 men. Yeah. So you might as well take him off and keep yourself at 11. And then you can sort out what's going on. Yeah. But you can't be going in. You can't go anywhere and think, right, well, should be all right here. We can risk a man down. Nobody would do that. So actually, I could see where you were coming from on that, Andy. I saw that when you messaged it at the time. And I thought, it's a fair point. But again, he then had to watch what he was doing because he had that yellow card, whereas a Newcastle player had a free hit.
Yeah, which takes a bit of Rodri's game away because there was one point in the second half where he stretched and pulled away straight away. Like normally, he would have left his leg in, which would have been a decent tackle, but he couldn't run that risk. So it just sort of like, but despite all that, I thought it was just an absolutely magnificent performance, Anne-Marie. I just thought it's one of the
really
best
was.
in a while.
Even at half-time, I was that confident at half-time. I put a bet on a £5 for City to win 3-2. That's how confident I was. So,
do you want to know I'm smiling?
Go on.
I was sat there watching it at 2-2. I put a £5 on at 2-2. I put a £5 on Newcastle to win 3-2. It works. My reverse psychology works. Trust me. I did it with Everton. I've done it a few times this season. Last season, as Michael tell you, who sit next to it, sir. There'll be time. Well, I'll put bets on. With reverse psychology, and it always comes up fruitful.
No wonder your season ticket cost you an arm and a leg. You pay another £500 on top with on lost bets.
My season ticket in total, season tickets cost me 85,427p a season. But it's worth it.
Could you imagine that?
We get the point. So it's weird. So how much did you win, Anne-Marie?
I think it worked out at about £30, but better in my pocket, isn't it?
Yeah. That's good.
What was that, a little £2 bet?
Yeah.
Martin said an offside and obvious, didn't need VAR. An injury like that was on the card. Stupid rule, and he now, that's what was on about the bullet hole in his thigh. Yeah, it's just, his thing. Let's get to the goal. What a goal, Paddy, by Bernardo. It was just, I didn't see straight away how we actually scored it. I just thought it was just a attack, and when it showed it was just like, wow.
You only seen how good it was on the replay because live, you didn't see what you did. You did nobody in that unless you were watching slow motion, but nobody seen. I certainly didn't see it, and it was only when they replayed it and they slowed it down. And it wasn't an accident; they actually meant it. But I thought we were brilliant. Just the only issue I have, and I'm not slagging Walker off, right? Because Pep tells him to do his job. But just to see what you guys think, or maybe the guys in the chat, Walker lapping and being high up in the position box, right? He doesn't. There's no end product from him. He can't cross the ball. He doesn't offer anything up there, right? So why he's up there, I don't know.
He crossed the ball to Bernardo, mate, for our first goal.
Yeah, no. Rewind the next 10 matches and see how many he does that. He doesn't do it. That's like Rashford when the orgasm today. Rashford, well, he's back. He hasn't fucking scored in 7 months. But my point is,
yeah,
right?
These celebration like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right. So
I
okay, let's go through their goal then, mate. Right. Let's go through their first
let me
goal.
finish this point, please. Well, if Walker's asset is speed. So rather than have him up in the season 18-yard box, because all Newcastle were doing yesterday was hoofing over our midfield, and they'd half the pitch to run into. Because Walker doesn't offer very much in the opposition area, in my opinion, would he be better staying back? They deal with the transition or the counter attacks because he's the man with the speed. Because Diaz and Aki were getting done for speed yesterday. But I know Pep putting him up there. He's not up there of his own free will. I know Pep's making him do that. But I'm just wondering, would he be better used as the last defender?
Okay, let's go through the goal then. Everyone's attributing their first goal as Walker's fault. Not at all. But first and foremost, Doku yet again. All he was doing was kicking it to a Newcastle player or losing the ball. That ball eventually came over. Walker then had to make a decision because he was in the middle of a horrible Anthony Gordon and Isaac. So he didn't know who to go to, and obviously Isaac popped it in because Walker didn't know who to go to. For me, that was also where was Diaz for that? For their second goal, yeah. In fact, on the first goal, Diaz actually ducked as well after that happened. Why are you ducking? You're a professional footballer. You take it wherever you need to stop it. All right. And this is not a name and blame game. I'm just defending Walker here a little bit because it was not his fault. The first, I thought he actually played decent yesterday.
Absolutely not, and I totally agree with that. He two players. Why Diaz was stood in the middle of the box when there was no Newcastle player and Walker was up against two players.
Yeah,
but he was fouled for the second goal. But look, shit happens, as they say. You know.
Yeah.
But I
couldn't
fault that performance yesterday. I know they scored twice, but you can't actually fault that performance yesterday because I think we're back. I think we're back at that level of speed. The Foden is on another level.
Yeah.
The way Foden receives the ball and attacks is
nobody receives that ball on the half turn. I've not seen anyone since David Silva. It's just starting. He's just on another level. Foden at the moment. He's a true leader, isn't he? A 23-year-old true leader.
Yeah, we were saying last week when I've not seen anything to change my mind in that full week that he's moving into the next zone of his professional career where he's going from, you go from apprentice to prospect to young player. He's only a kid. Then he was he's promising potential, and now he's just starting to get into that seasoned pro, whereby he's got the experience. 250 games he's had now. He's going to start knowing when to do the tricks, when to do the keep it simple, all that little bit that comes with experience. And it's something worth remembering, isn't it, that you can't put experience in somebody, no matter how good they are or what they're doing. And he's just way up there now. He has. He's bringing a whole new dimension to his game. That Foden v Saka. That Foden v Saka's been finished. I'm now wondering just how far ahead of Oscar Bobb is, because Oscar Bobb's another one. He'll make mistakes and he'll do his little bits and bobs. But for United, you 20, it's great having these kids and watching them do that. But they will drop a rick, and you've just got to accept it.
It's natural. Listen, Foden did it. Everybody did it. So come on. So who's watched Bernardo's goal more than 10 times? I have. I just can't stop watching.
Did he score?
Yeah, a lucky back heel. It's like
I thought it was an own goal.
It's like just let me try and find the comment here.
Nobody tells me anything.
I know.
There was
Don't blame him, man.
Before Andy, I think it was Keith, said about match of the day, trying to make it look like we were lucky to win, which I would agree with Keith. But what they did at the end was they had you know how they have goal of the month?
Yeah.
They had goal of the game because they were all so good, and Bernardo's won it. All the pundits went for Bernardo.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to go with the Oscar Bobb goal. And the reason being, not only was the pass from Kevin sublime, his finish for a lad so young was so kind of composed and skillful that you can see he plays without fear.
Yeah.
And it was a joy to watch that yesterday. It really was.
But that
No, it is. It's great to see. And I thought Paddy gave the best example of it, in so much that you had to see the replay slow down to see what he did. And his feet were that quick, and he's done the left to right, and he switched it. All the while having been hit himself, where I remember a certain fan base saying, oh, well, if you get touched, you'll go down. And, you know, science says that, you know, at that speed, you won't be able to do this, that, and the other. And no, again, you know, they're just talking through their hat. But when you see a player there on top of his game, he's kept his feet. He's done his little trick. He's got round the keeper. He's solved the problem of what he's going to do and buried it. And that's experience beyond years. That really is.
And you can't teach that. That's instinct.
No, you can't.
But De Bruyne and the run that he made was just. Have you seen the camera from behind De Bruyne? Yeah, where he lobs when he put that ball in. Sweet Jesus, what a panic! It was like a laser guided missile. But Oscar Bobb still had a lot of work to do to score that goal. And that little touch to left and right, he beat that keeper, was, geez, that dynamite. That.
Do you agree with Anne-Marie? Do you want to read Pardo's comment out there? Because
Diaz is having a mare of a season compared with previous seasons.
Mrs. Stones.
Yeah, and that's what I put it down to. I put it down to the fact that most weeks we're playing with a different back four in some shape or form, whether it's a Kanji and Diaz, whether it's, you know, when he's fit, Stones and Diaz, or Gavidol and Diaz, or Aki and Diaz. And I think that in itself leads to uncertainty in the back line. And all being well, once we get all our players fit and up and running, that becomes a different issue, because we'll be in a position where we're playing with a more settled back four, like we did for the majority of last season, the end of last season. And things will improve. And I think for Diaz at the minute, I think it's difficult, because when Akanji plays and Akanji's playing in that midfield role, I'm not blaming Akanji, but I don't think he's necessarily good enough to play that role. So it leaves Diaz exposed, and I think that's part of the problem. But, you know, he's a class player.
Diaz exposed. I thought it's Walker who always exposing.
You know.
Well, you know, we're not going to agree on this subject, Andy, but I think, you know, class is permanent. So what might be a dip this season, once he gets back to a more settled back four, I think we'll see the best of Diaz again.
No, I've said it, and it's been well documented what I say, Stan, which is, for me, Diaz, left side of the centre-backs, Stones, the right side of the centre-back. We've got a different proposition then. Diaz doesn't look comfortable on the right side of the defence.
Yeah, I think the other one as well is that, you know, in so much that Anne-Marie is right, that we're changing and we're flipping and we're moving every time. There is a player there that we can't call up anymore, Laporte. And I thought he was a lot better than people gave him credit for. And I think that this problem we've got at the moment is going up and down a little bit. That, you know, people that are coming in aren't quite knowing. Like Gavardio ain't going to be slot in like Laporte would have done, because Laporte knows the system inside out. And I think there's a few changes going on there that, because he isn't there, we're missing him not being there. And what I suppose what I'm trying to say is, you don't realise how good somebody is until they're gone.
Absolutely, man.
You know, and I think we are struggling a bit here, not having replayed. Well, time will tell again. Maybe Gavardio will be better than Laporte, but at the moment, today, he's not. But he's not had that 2-3 years of experience Laporte had. So if we had this argument again in 2 or 3 years' time, it might be all right, because Gavardio's plotted in, he knows what's going on, and we're back to being a well-oiled machine at the back again. And it doesn't matter what component parts go in there.
But
I think that's what.
Do you know something though about Gvardio? He's this big, strong man. However, he's a 21-year-old kid. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
He's you know, people just see, he's on, say, 300 grand a week. He should be able to do this. He should be able to do that. Nonsense. There's no better manager in the world than Pep to nurture and teach people. Yesterday we saw Gvardio like bombing forward, Keith Curl-esque, didn't we? You know, and he had a shot and ballooned it over. We're going to see things like that because he knows that Aki's going to be there on the left side, you know, looking after that spot if he goes forward. So I've not got a problem, and I've said it for a few weeks now. I think eventually Gvardiol will be able to do that. Everyone calls it a John Stones role. It's sort of like including me. However, John Stones role only started to happen midway through last season. So it's even John Stones is still learning that position, but we're attributing all these other players who, we're going into a John Stones role. I want John Stones as a right-sided centre-back. Tell us what you think. That was called in January of last year when we were talking about Rico Lewis and the effect he was having on Kevin De Bruyne. Do you remember that we thought Kevin was being held back a little bit because he wasn't quite sure on Rico? That's right. Once Guardiola had realised that role does work, but not with Rico, he got a bigger, stronger fella in there. It worked. And then Kev had the space and time that he needed to do what he did. And he knew he could rely on Stones to do that job because he was bigger, stronger and more experienced. And we're in on that again. So leave it to Pep. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. I'm certain Pep knows what he's doing, you know. There are plenty in the
chat. I know we all know better than him, but every now and again he does come up with something that you think, fair play, fella.
All these are geniuses, mate. I'm sure everyone's going on about Bob's goal as well, and you know, in the chat, and rightly so. The way he rode that challenge from Trippier to do a little quicker left-right finish. The way he took it, you know, the way he took the ball away from the goalie, as Section saying there. It was a thing of beauty. You know, it's considering it came at a time when the game was
called it. But, sorry, mate. I thought McCoy's caught it really well when he said that. No, Kovacic noticed he couldn't quite get the ball through to Bob. Then he changed the angle and gave it to Kev, and Kev knew he could get that angle, and he's flipped it into the box there, and we scored. It's small things like that you know, if Kovacic hadn't had the brains to think, I'll try it anyway. You know, there's every chance Bob wouldn't have got that and the ball wouldn't have got there. But he's realised, and it's not always about, you know, knocking the ball forward. You know, you see a lot of people like, get the ball forward. You knock the ball side to side to create that angle, and to create that little bit of space for the forwards to get in on the ball. And that was one of them times when it worked, and I just thought McCoist did it. And he used to be a good pundit, didn't he? But he seems to be going down there.
Since he does talk sport work, mate, that's all. And Marie, what was obviously pleasing was, you know, the way the contribution KDB when he came on, not just that pass for Bob, but his overall play, and he looks so hungry. You know, you could see all the players' reactions right at the end, but KDB in particular, it was just like, it's almost as if he knew that victory was our moment. We normally have a moment in the season. It's almost like he knew that victory was our moment.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And for me, the really pleasing thing to see was at the end of the game, the reaction of all the backroom staff, including Pep and all our players. I think you could just sense that there is what we've been looking for and we thought was missing maybe at times, but the togetherness is there again. And that, for me, for anybody else, for any other team, is the worrying sign, because they are hungry for that fourth title.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it was you, Paddy, who posted in our WhatsApp group a picture. Was it of Bob? And in the background, there was I don't know if anybody caught it on City's social media. I'm sure it was Oscar Bobb on it. And in the background,
I think it was Doku.
Yeah, Doku. I'll see if I can find it. So anyway, so in the background on the wall, it had something on the lines of nobody's ever won the Premier League on the
four
trot.
Times.
Yeah, four times on the trot. So that just shows the motivation.
Did you see the last word on that?
Background. Do you reckon
Did you
City
see
did
the
that?
last word in that sentence?
No.
Yet.
Oh, was it? Was it yet?
Yeah.
See, so that just shows the motivation. What them, you know, the players, backroom staff, and everyone what I've got. They just look so together and hungry for it. Like it's well documented that City are a second half of the season team, but that'll run out one time. We've got to start doing it more consistently. But for us to be in a position, Stan, where we are 2 points behind Liverpool with all the injuries and stuff like that and suspensions what we've suffered, I'd say we're ahead of schedule there.
Yeah, with the injuries and the problems we've had, Arsenal and Liverpool should be at least 10 points ahead of us. If they're going to get a chance to do anything, they should be that far ahead, because we've got Arsenal at home to come, we've got Liverpool away, and both of them have got to play each other before the end of the month or the beginning of the next month. So there's another 2 points. We're starting to get momentum. Now, you can get momentum from all things, but one of them two dropping points, and they will, because you can't both win the game, we'll get that momentum. Do you know what I mean? It's another chance for us to pull on one of them. The way it's going, if Arsenal win it, it'll drag them back into it. But it gives us a chance to leapfrog Liverpool. Hang on. No, let me finish. If Arsenal win that, it gives us a chance to leapfrog Liverpool. If Liverpool win it, it puts Arsenal well and truly out of it. And we know we can concentrate on just hunting down Liverpool. Mm-hmm. And we can do that. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to win it, Andy. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to win the league. But what you got to remember is they think that they might. And you've got to extinguish that. You know, like you want a team to come to your ground and they give up before they start. It's the mental side of the game that you've got to just trounce them into the ground and just say, you're not going to come back. Don't care who you are.
Do you know what affected them really badly? I think both Liverpool and Arsenal, when we had that so-called little mini crisis, about 5 or 6 games, all them draws, and I think we lost against Aston Villa. I think it was a run of 6 or 7 games, and for us to be second, 2 points ahead or 2 points behind Liverpool after our little mini crisis and suspensions and all that crack. it even got in the Klopp's head when he mentioned about Kevin De Bruyne warming up. It was like an earthquake. He stinks. He knows what's coming. I think yesterday was that match we were going to kick on from, because the way we played yesterday was out of this world.
So totally agree. And when we played Liverpool at the Etihad, you know, that disallowed goal, Akanji on the keeper, and then we saw Luton's goal given against Burnley the other night. That just shows you the inconsistencies, you know, alone. But what Martin's saying now, I think I know what Martin means. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. I think Pep is trying to both pass, and a quicker transition sort of in between, if it makes sense. Yeah, I thought our passing last night was probably the best I've seen this season for quickness, like, you know, spinning round, and as I say, the way Foden takes the ball on the half turn. I've not seen a better passing performance, Anne-Marie, this season than last night. Or has there been a game?
I think you're dead right, Andy. I just thought the whole performance yesterday was first class. There's no other way you can put it. We knew we had a battle on our hands with Newcastle, and we faced it, and we came through. I think going back to the point you were making previously, I think obviously we had our mini crisis with some draws and one loss, and then we were looking at this World Club Champions, and we were thinking by the time we get back from there, we could be 9-10 points behind. And we just look at where we are. You know, we've gone on, we've continued our trend of winning the trophies, coming back, carrying on, and we're still in a position where we can win this league, even with our mini crisis. And that, to me, tells you exactly the strength of our team, the mentality of our team. And again, you watched that game yesterday, and then you watch the dross that was served up today, and there's just no comparison. We're not just a different level. It's like we're a different planet the way we play. And these teams have got a lot of catching up to do if they're ever going to get close to us.
I think, in my opinion, teams will only start to get close to us when Pep's no longer with us. So, you know, let's hope Pep's with us for many, many years. But, you know, again, there's loads of Oscar Bobb stuff in the chat, and rightly so, because he was on for a very, very short amount of time yesterday. But the impact what he made could be, if you like, season defining, Paddy.
Well,
a few years ago, we had a very similar game against Tottenham. Tottenham had beaten us in the week to go to the Champions League semi-finals, I think it was. And we'd played them during the week, and then we played them on the Saturday, and we won 1-0. And who scored our goal that day? Foden with a header. And I think it was one of his first Premier League goals for us. I
think it was his first.
I think it was. And that tells you exactly the importance of Oscar Bobb's goal yesterday, not just for City, but for the young lad himself.
You look at what Oscar Bobb's done since the 1st of December.
I was just saying, Bob has made it into that team. Anybody Pep keeps around that first team, that young Hamilton guy as well, that he comes get, you know, there's something special. Pep doesn't hold it. Pep, if they're not at that level, they normally go out and loan. And anybody in and around that first team who's training with the first team, Oscar Bobb is with the first team now all the time. We don't play with the EDS anymore. You know, they have something.
Did anybody notice yesterday or question? Hang on a minute. He's took Doku off on the left. Why has he not brought Grealish on the left? And he's brought Bobb, who normally plays on the right, and he's put him on the left.
Do you know Ducky was very
just so he could do that, just so he could drag it onto his right better foot on the wrong wing. That's how far ahead. That's how much of a genius he is. He knew Kev would make that diagonal cross, and he had the right lad on his right foot, on the stronger right foot.
But it just shows you players for moments, and as you always say, Stan, and it's become quite a thing, different keys for different locks. And I'm certain. I know you sort of like said it a little bit in jest then, but I'm certain Pep was more or less on that because Doku had numerous chances to. Honestly, sometimes I know he will get better, and it's not an anti-Doku thing. This Doku sometimes he jigs about like that as if he's in the bath full of water and somebody's thrown an electric kettle plugged in there. The way it's. I think
either that or somebody stuck out his rubber ducky. I'm not sure. He's not happy either way you look at it. But the thing is, I was smiling before because Super City who's on there now. And if you just flick back one, Andy, if you can. And again, the last one for Super City, if you go back, he called him Jeremy Sterling, and it took us a minute for me to realise what he was on about. And obviously, that's it. Obviously, it's a reference to Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
But you got to remember with Jeremy Doku, we were talking 10 minutes ago about player being young and being brilliant and then being, what the hell is he doing? He's right in that category. He's smack bang in the middle of that category. And I didn't realise till today, he's younger than Cole Palmer. We all think Cole Palmer's like 18 because we've known him forever, right? Mm-hmm. But Doku is younger than Cole Palmer. And he's obviously had a lot less experience in the English league. So, yes, while he will do brilliant stuff, he'll also do some things that you're thinking, what are you doing? But that's all part of the learning curve, isn't it? So,
absolutely.
So, did any of us know that Doku was violently sick yesterday and he shouldn't have been playing?
I thought he played.
No, I didn't know that.
I thought he looked as if he was violently sick yesterday, mate. The way he kept giving the ball.
I thought
maybe that's why he didn't bring Grealish on anyway, because Grealish had been sick all week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. There's a fair shout. I just don't want either of them leaving a load on the pitch.
Good evening, Pat. Hope you're well, mate. It's been a long time since I've woke up, and the first thing I thought about is City's victory, the day before. I sort of I gauge it as one of them defining moments in the season, and I just cannot see anybody stopping us now, Anne-Marie.
No, me either, Andy. I think we are just a different class altogether.
The handbrake
the handbrakes come off, exactly, and everyone looks as though they're enjoying it as well, which is always another good sign for me. I'm feeling very confident about the league. Like I say, the league's always the most important. Anything else after that is a bonus. But we've had such a run for the last 12 months. I don't think, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd see City do what they've done this last 12 months.
No, and people forget that, but it's only because we cheats and stuff like that, apparently. Like BB says, after the passion Pep showed yesterday, it's going nowhere. Pep gets it, doesn't he? Like you get managers what go into clubs and they don't really get it. Pep gets absolutely everything, the fabric of our club, and us. I know sometimes he has a little pop at the fans, for atmosphere. But you can look at it both ways. No, he shouldn't do that, or he's just trying to get that little bit out of the fans, like he does with the players. To get the fans at that level. And
I think at times he's entitled to, because in a way, we've become spoiled by what we've been watching. And it's like we're waiting for something to happen to react. And what we should be doing is right before kickoff, we should be roaring and getting right behind the team and not waiting for them to entertain us, if you like.
Yeah.
So I've got no issue with Pep calling us out sometimes, because I think there is a need for it, because there is a level of complacency within our fan base as well. So
there is, there is a certain elements within our fan base where I think some City fans feel entitled, don't they? However, what top of the league says there, Stan? I think that is
brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant point, because people forget about futsal and stuff like that. But yeah, with the winter snow and ice in Norway, there is no outdoor football. So Oscar Bobb played a lot of futsal, and you can tell those static ball rollbacks are classic futsal. That is an absolutely fantastic point. That.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up there. I thought, whatever you do, Andy, don't roll it over. It's a great point, that, and I think a lot of the young guns coming through, they are playing more and more futsal and things like that, and you can see it in the confidence they have in the skills that they've got. They've been doing them for years and years. So yeah, it's a great point, that top of the league. Now, I'm going to have to disagree with Anne-Marie on one thing. When she said never in her wildest dreams did she think we'd do what we've done in the last 12 months. We were singing about it 20 years ago. We knew it. We knew it was coming.
No, but
we don't tell us when we sing with the greatest team in all the land and all the world.
No, and I get that. I do get that, Stan. But at the same time,
I'm pulling your leg. We didn't.
I know. But being a kid and being a City fan, and my mum was a United fan, and the only thing I ever wanted to see us do was win a trophy. That was my biggest dream. And once we won the FA Cup against Stoke, I thought I didn't know it could be topped until the
my dad died. My dad died before we won the 2011-2012 championship. And I always remember him laughing, because when I was a kid, he bought me a pennant when we'd won the 76 League Cup. And he didn't have to update it for about 30 years. This one present lasted for 30 years. Best value for money ever.
Not made in China, then.
Any dad who bought a pennant for their kid then didn't have to buy any more memorabilia. I thought that was genius. He thought, that's it. That's my present done for the next 30 years. I don't have to bother with it. And we was taking the mickey out of him. Anyway, years later, he died and whatnot. And there was another member of the family who was dying. But he'd seen us win a few things. He says, when you see me, Dad, just remind him, when I get up there, I want to see about 40 pennants, because he's got away with murder. I'm not having it. So I'm waiting now for somebody else to die to tell him to throw another 10 pennants on top of the other 40 that I asked for.
Don't be looking my way, mate. Paddy, section 20, another great point here. Liverpool and Arsenal dropped a ball by not being 8 or 9 points ahead of City while we were at the World Cup. I know we touched on it before, but what Anne-Marie said, I think it was Anne-Marie, where they will be kicking themselves because they didn't. And even the next comment by Super City, to be fair, even in our bad run, we actually beat Liverpool and Spurs. Were shafted. The only real defeat was Villa. Yeah, we drew. But I know what you mean by beat, because the things what went against us in them matches. So yeah, there was only Villa, and look at it. Villa third, who have been flying. There was dog shite today. But Liverpool and Spurs, at the time, Spurs were flying. So I don't rate Liverpool that highly. I don't think Liverpool are the same team, and that's a worry for them. That is a worry for them, because, like you said before, Paddy, you've got Clippity Klopp actually name checking Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah,
and
And you only do that when you're thinking about it because we're in head, you see.
Yeah.
Like the mind games, he's starting to succumb to the mind games.
But he's doing the mind games to the wrong manager.
Yeah. I seen a funny thing yesterday. Do you know that song, Fog and the Time is All Mine, All Mine? Somebody had taken Fog out and put Bob.
Yeah.
Bob and the Time is all mine. I
saw a mate of mine, fan zone Danny, he put something on, I think, Twitter or Facebook today. He's credited somebody, one of his mates with it. But yeah, I thought the City fans were absolutely immense. And I'm just going to say yet again, because sometimes they do make a difference for our away matches, Anne-Marie. They're just so vocal. And considering yesterday, all you could do as a City fans and how high up they were.
I know, having been to St James's Park, you really are up in the gods. And they were fantastic yesterday. But like you said, they always are. Generally, if you're watching us on the telly and it's an away game, that's what you hear is the City fans. We're very, very vocal, and that's got to lift the team.
You're right there. I tell you what, I know you've actually got to go to Newcastle to see just how far up you are and how far removed you are. It's unbelievable. But I tell you what, though, makes me laugh. It's like going to one of them concerts. These
top.
Yeah, they've actually got a little screen on the side so you can watch it. It's like going to one of them big open air concerts that you're not far away from the action. You have to watch it on the screen, and you think to yourself, I might as well have stayed at home and had me
converse.
Whatever you do at home when you watch a match.
You can't beat being there though. The atmosphere. I get what you're saying.
No, you can't. You can't. But no, you can't. You're right, and I agree with you. But I'm a miserable bastard, so it doesn't bother me. So I'll just stay at home and have my crisps and my Coke. But Coca-Cola, the fruit-based drink, not other Coke. That's before anyone says anything.
As mine says, it ain't bad considering we bought crap apparently in Kovacic and Nunes. I know he's tongue in cheek there because Nunes and Kovacic they've been getting pelters on there. I think Kovacic is starting to become one of the players who gives Rodri the freedom to go forward. Because I don't even know it's now. I've never seen Rodri so far forward since he got in. He steadily got in the first team.
And it makes me laugh, Andy, because they've got a bet in the dressing room, haven't they? Yep. If Rodri scores 10 goals this season, the whole team have to play with the shirts tucked into the shorts for a whole game. And I'd like to see them do that just for Rodri.
You can see he's going for that 10 goals, though, can't you?
Yeah. He was unlucky yesterday.
Hopefully. Well,
Stan had a stroke there.
The weather's not playing great. No, I'd love it if we've won the league by about 2 or 3 matches, and Rodri's on 9, and none of them passed the ball to him, so he can't get his 10.
Have any of the guys in the chat or yous also noticed over the past couple of weeks in particular what's been happening within our squad? We're starting to be able to rotate a little bit now because most of the players are coming back. So it won't be before long now where you'll see Alvarez. I thought he worked hard as well, tracking back and nicking the ball quite a lot yesterday.
He'll get a rest.
He quite clearly needs a rest, which is good because when Haaland's back, you'll see him. You've seen KDB come on with about 25 minutes to go yesterday. So Bernardo got a bit of rest by it as well. Doku, because like people are saying, Grealish was recovering from sickness. Although he was on the bench, doesn't mean to say he's fully fit. So I get that. So Doku got a bit.
Does anyone think KDB is just the ginger Grealish?
Yeah, but even with Doku yesterday, he's come back from injury. So we're now in a position where we can start resting a few players, which that is the key, because not only do we rest players, we're going to start moving them about in different positions, and then we will find with so many games to go, you'll probably find it's the same, more or less the same starting 11 like last season to the end of the season, like that trusted 11 what we saw, because we hardly made any rotations or anything back end of last season, and we saw quite clearly what happened there.
Are we linked? Are we going to buy anyone this month, do you think? Are we linked to anyone?
Pep says no, but I think Pep, if you're watching Pep, you're a liar. You are going to buy someone. Can't kid us.
Any idea who?
Nope. What you're probably better off doing is asking Martin, because he's an ITK. Only kidding.
In
Martin.
the kennel.
I can see him now on his keyboard now going, I'm not an ITK.
What?
No, it's just my opinion. What?
What? When did when was he in the kennel?
What?
ITK.
In the kennel.
In the canteen with a K. But
Why don't you just use kennel with a K? He's in the doghouse, isn't he?
No, that's Walker. But that's another story which we're not going to discuss further.
Oh no, he's got out. He's got out and jumped over the yard. He's down the street, Walker.
So Paddy's asked the question. Let's answer it.
That's not all his fine.
It's my belief, Paddy, that we will buy 2 players. That's just my opinion.
This month.
Nothing to know. Yeah. I do.
Are you talking about 2 players to go into the first team, or 2 players for next season?
I'm just guessing. I would say I still think Paqueta will be done, even though he's injured. I think he's out for about 5 weeks. I still think Paqueta will get done. But that's call me mad. Yeah.
You're talking big money there.
So
you shouted at me last week for asking that.
For what?
You shouted at me last week for asking that, just trying to clarify, is it 2 first team players or any 2 players?
It's just a guess. We might bring 0 in, but I believe we will bring 2 in. It's just a guess.
No. We want accountability. We need answers.
Names. Rotten blood.
Names.
I just named one who
Name or shame.
I just named one who I think will be done, and that's Paqueta. I know he's injured, but who's to say we won't buy an injured player?
We did.
Like Elise, though.
Yeah, Elise
Yes,
is been touted about, but is Elise is he better than what we've already got? That's what.
No, but I did like the fact that little. Yeah, I did like the fact that little tidbit of knowledge about him having been a youth player. Got 1 or 2 on the website today.
Yeah, they didn't realise that Michael Lisi was actually in our academy. Was it about a year he was with us?
Yeah, he was only a year. He was only a young lad. He's a London lad, isn't he? And I just think the cold and the wind and the rain drove him away. So, yeah, it's not for everyone living here.
Yeah, Michael's made a decent point there. Doco is raw. Bob is the reason why that, and I'm going to use the word, that Palmer left. Oscar wants to learn, fight to get inside. Palmer, gutless. You know something? I was very, very, very defensive of Cole Palmer, but he's not letting his bitterness go, is it? About Pep wanted him to go. Listen, he's doing very, very well at Chelsea. All his stats are amazing, apparently, although most of them are penalties. But he just won't let it go, Anne-Marie, that how dare Pep get rid of him?
No, and that dickhead celebration.
Which one?
Cold Palmer is an absolute dick.
Why don't you say what you mean?
Look, for me, he didn't want to stay. As much as he might want to say that Pep wanted him to go, I don't believe that. And there might be truth in it as well, but we'll never know.
In fairness, he didn't say that. I watched his interview. He wanted to go out alone and come back the following year and go into the first team when Pep says, no, either you stay or sold, and he decided to go. And any young child, and that's what he is, backs himself and has belief in himself and goes, and he's gone to Chelsea and he's doing well. Fair play to him. Because a lot of them have left Man City and have been kicked on.
But the way he's playing now won't last, Paddy. He looks that, with the best will in the world, that is a very bang average Chelsea team. There's nothing special about it at all.
I'm just not about his attitude, or his belief system, and the belief in himself, around his self-esteem and self-confidence.
Yeah, you can also call that arrogance as well, though, can't you?
Anybody who puts a Manchester City shirt on, or a football shirt on, or any competitive sportsman is arrogant. They have to be. Because if you don't have that, you won't succeed. You need that.
Are you calling yourself arrogant because you've got a City shirt on?
I'd be all right.
Just saying.
Pep could put me in goal. Not great with the feet, but
no, but you'd fill it.
I'd jump most of them.
Whoa! What's Martin been saying? I've already been, Adam.
Sorry, Paddy.
Yeah. Super City, I watch Liverpool and think they are garbage. They often get out of jail with a favourable decision, but to be fair, that's how the Premier League one Premier League came. Remember the Salah, Tom Daly, where he just dived about. I don't remember Liverpool winning the Premier League, to be honest, because it was at a time when COVID and my head was gone, so I'll never recognise them. Even Bernardo doesn't recognise them.
Oh, he hates them. He hates them. Plus the fact, Andy, that the diver Davy has gone to the African Cup of Nations, hasn't he? He's gone for a month.
Yeah, you see, we've got Salah gone. For Spurs,
I can give you an update on Salah. He scored a 97th minute penalty equaliser to save Egypt's blushes against the might of Madagascar. So that's where we are.
The animated film he played against.
I don't know, but he just played against Madagascar.
Did he?
And it needed a 97th penalty. I've not seen it yet, but I tell you what, between that being awarded and him scoring it, there was a 4-minute delay, which I've got a feeling. I bet there was something suspicious going on.
Bit like your internet, that, mate.
Yeah, there'd be something suspicious.
Quite right, Martin, as well. The way the City fans, sung Sven-Göran Eriksson yesterday, it was really, really classy. That
Liverpool are trying to claim him.
Hey,
Liverpool are trying to claim him.
No, well, it's not that, is it, Paddy? He said that his one regret is that he never managed Liverpool, and Liverpool have got a charity game, I think, in March. And what the Liverpool fans are trying to do is arrange and get it so that he manages the Liverpool team for that game. So his last wish, if you like, is fulfilled. So I'm going to give him credit. I'm going to give him credit for that. But if they then try and make out that they're, that he's one of their own, then they can kiss me arse and do one.
Yeah, they're going to do that, though, don't you? You don't. There's no doubt about it.
Well,
it'll be all about them.
Liverpool fans making it all about them. But on a side note, I do think it's classic. At the end of the day, if they do it, they're making a dying person's last wish come true. So no gripes for me on that one. And then, as Anne-Marie says, they can kiss my ass then.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been dipping rats. What's that? I got lift up in cup game. What, in 81? I wasn't even born in 81.
No, he's on about the Newcastle Cup game. He got the lift up to the top.
Oh, I thought he meant someone lifted him up. I was going to say, bloody hell, Martin, he'd have had a job. He knows I'm only kidding. Yeah, and you know something, what Super City says? Terry Phelan, we had Terry as a guest a few months ago. We spoke about that, and it's one of them. But if nobody's ever seen Terry Phelan's goal against Spurs in the cup, it's a must
on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a must, and it's still one of them goals. What it's like, it just went through absolutely everyone. It's one of life's forgotten goals. That. He wasn't about the.
Andy, what did you notice about the Bruyne goal yesterday?
It went in the back of the net.
Yeah, but what did he do?
What did he do? Passed it in the back of the net.
Passed it through the Newcastle players. He looked for the gap and he struck the ball through the Newcastle players' legs. That wasn't by accident.
Yeah,
he blindsided the keeper.
Yeah, what FIFA's saying there, just check this link out for the Stockport NHS guys. Feel free to donate, for hospital equipment and stuff like that. A real worthy cause that. So yeah, you can put that all over the socials, FIFA, and I'll retweet them and stuff like that as always, mate. Alex says Rodri yellows worry me. Alvarez looks knackered. Yep, but as we say, Alec, it's time now where some of these boys are going to be getting a rest, and you will. I know Rodri will get rest against the lesser teams without sounding arrogant. That is, I believe whether it's a half a game or even a full game, I do believe Rodri will get some rest. Anybody disagree with that?
No. I don't mean to cause chaos or a riot, but was Phillips in the squad yesterday?
Yes, he was. He was on the bench.
Did you see him celebrating at the end?
No.
No.
Because I was probably running around the fucking room myself. One of the neighbours didn't ring the cops.
Oh yeah, so this is important as well. As FIFA's saying there, our website, loads of brilliant stuff on there. And if you use the code MANWAY, you'll get 10% off, and that includes free delivery. Aren't I good to you lot?
You ruin us.
Have to power out.
Yeah,
you'd have to power out, Mr. Savage.
I left
free delivery free delivery
in the UK. Paddy, I'm going to send you something to stop me moaning. Top of the league says people were talking about Rodri yellows yesterday, but my understanding is they were a reset after game 19 and first game was yesterday. Was it?
No.
Yeah.
I thought it
was usually March time.
Yeah, I could be totally wrong. I thought it was March time, Anne-Marie. And also, if he gets you're now 8 or 9. If he gets to 10, that's also another automatic ban. So not sure on that one, but
I thought it was set.
No, I didn't think so. Super C says the most satisfying thing about yesterday was the officials tried to shaft us within just 3 minutes added time, and when they should have been 8 or 9. Absolutely, we scored in it, and that's what I was saying earlier, pal. It's
19 matches, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Great shout. Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier about only City can beat City this season with not putting the ball in the back of the net, not killing games. We're always going to concede, but we've got to start taking our chances. And yesterday, as I say, for those who was on the show a little bit earlier, I believe yesterday was that our point of the season, what we always have. Top of the league says again, Pep and the coaches have to be on point with his yellows, and the up and coming games need to be managed well, so potential suspension doesn't not occur on the big game. Yeah, totally agree. Oh, what's this? Adam says, "Come on, tell everyone ITK. All my opinions, mate. I don't speak to anybody who is in the know." We do have a Brentford Bournemouth fixture to use as a suspension if needed. But that's what it's almost like I read the things before I say anything. I don't honestly. It's just all opinion. So we'll finish off right with the King is back. Yesterday, he does stand in. What the superlatives you could give him, hundreds and hundreds of different superlatives, but he does genuinely make a difference, doesn't he?
I think what you were saying at the start was right. There are no words for him. There's absolutely no words for him. He's just planets ahead of everybody else. What he can see and what he can do, and the way he executed just about every ball. I mean, he made a right fool of himself at his first touch, smacking the ball into the wall. But once he'd got that out of the way, he was all right.
Yeah, Martin actually thinks we're going to sign Chris Wood as well. He was saying on his stream the other night. Isn't that right, Pat?
Chris Wood?
Was he smoking something or taking something?
Who, Chris Wood?
No, Martin.
No, it was joking. It was joking. He can't. Basically, Martin can't stand Chris Wood, and Pat and Rich and I think also he was just taking the Michael out of him, saying that we're going to sign Chris Wood, and Martin was having a bit of a meltdown. So I had to knock up a mug with Chris Wood on the front, holding the Champions League trophy, and I might send it Martin for a keepsake anyway. So yeah,
you know what?
You're right there, Stan.
I don't think we need to sign a striker, do we?
Yeah, there you go. Andy has made a mug of Chris Wood sign him still once. Hey, I can do it, and you know where you can get it? The online store. So yeah, Anne-Marie, KDB, the King is back.
Absolutely. He is, without any shadow of a doubt, going to be a club legend. He's going to be one of the next statues we have outside our club. Because you watch him and he's so graceful when he plays. But I watched this morning that stupid Sky Sports thing when you've got Merson and Thompson slagging us off for paying 50 odd million for him, and how he was going to be a waste of money and a flop because he couldn't do it at Chelsea. And you look at what we've seen him do and what he can do, and you just think, world class doesn't even come close to it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, Amber, this is where Joey Barton gets things right. We need more ex-pros in there making sensible, solid observations of the game.
Let's not even mention Joey Barton because he absolutely embarrasses me. He represented our club.
No, I'm just taking the mickey out of him. He wants ex-pros in there, so you throw in Phil Thompson and Paul Merson, who were experienced ex-pros, and then listen to what they have to say.
Was it your man at Savage? Says that Robbie Savage says he wouldn't pay any. See Kevin De Bruyne.
I don't think Robbie Savage did that.
On another note, Andy, good to see the ladies win 4-0 in the FA Cup today. On to the next round. I think we seem to be playing really well, and it's all good to see.
That was a proper old school match there, where the low sun made it really difficult to see. Years ago, they were playing in open fields and stuff like that made a big difference. And obviously now they're in the stadiums and what have you. It doesn't make that much of a difference, but it did remind me of the old days where it was like, Jesus Christ, we can't see a thing what's going on. Having said that, there was no chance of stopping that Jill Road goal anyway. So
no,
their first goal.
And also interesting to see, we're looking to build a £10 million training facility just for the women's team.
Yeah.
I think that in itself shows the intention of the club as a whole. And it's
interesting that comes. Go on, sorry, Amber. Sorry, I was going to say while I remembered. About 8 months ago, in the City football group, they brought in a female. I can't remember her name. It was a female medical expert, and I'm wondering. I can't remember. Can I? That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering. 8 months later, when they've had the, they've sat down with her and they've said, right, okay, we're going to need something female specific, with the anterior cruciate ligaments, the way training is, the way they've suddenly become professional and things like that. City have took that on board and are now going to build something that's state of the art to make sure that, anything physically related to the women playing, they're going to get it sorted out. They can get it sorted out in-house. Then obviously all the other teams will benefit from it, which is fantastic because they're making things safer and healthier for women pros to play.
And what a link this is, Stan, as you three know, but we are hoping to have Izzy Christensen on one of our Sunday shows. She's sorting a media workout, and Izzy will join us one Sunday night. So
happy days.
I'm looking for that because we even in here, like Steve's put, most of the pundits are buffoons. I put Izzy Christensen as probably one of the best pundits on TV at the moment. And like we said before, with all this crap that I'm not even going to mention his name about female, pundits and commentators and stuff like that. There's good and bad with everyone. So it's just because he's got a podcast out in it. Anyway, I don't want to mention him.
And also, can we just spare a thought for Steph Horton as well? Her husband was on telly this week, and he's pretty much lost the ability to talk now. And she's only literally been married 3-4 years, if that. And to keep doing what she's doing, I think she's incredible. And again, such a fantastic ambassador for our club.
For ambassador for women's football, because not only is she maintaining she's not getting as many games now, but she's still there or thereabouts. But not only is she there or thereabouts, what she's having to deal with her personal life, it's just absolutely incredible. Got nothing but respect for her. Yeah. She's our Vincent Company.
She is 100%, Andy.
Yeah. So on that note, we've gone over longer than we normally do.
Yeah.
We were having such a good time, weren't we?
Yeah. So we've not got a game now until Spurs away in the cup. Spurs will be without Son and I think they're without 3 players. No great shakes with what I've seen today. I think we should be able to dispatch them for our first, not only our first goal, but our first victory at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So over to
when are we going to Abu Dhabi?
It was.
I think I would have thought we'd gone already.
What us for?
Not us. The team.
I think they may already be there, mate.
I think so.
Yeah.
Interesting. Andy, there was a little comment in the chat before about having an official meet and greet. I think that might be a good idea. It was in the comments earlier.
You do know we've had loads of comments.
Yes, I know.
Which we love, by the way, because, we don't do this show for us, we do it for you. What do you mean a meet and greet?
Well, maybe having a meet up after a game or before a game one day.
Oh, right, yeah. Are you up for that, Paddy?
You got the fucking liver transplant after him.
I resemble an accusation.
No meet and greet me, him.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Let's get it together in the group and stuff like that, and we'll do it. I don't think Martin will be able to join us though, because he leaves the match with 20 minutes to go.
Oh,
No, it's a great idea. I'd love to do that. Yeah. So, thanks for joining us, Stan, Anne-Marie, and Paddy. And more importantly, all the guys in the chat, thank you as always, because we love doing it. We love getting the interaction and stuff like that. And we will do it all again. There'll be no football next week, but I'll come up with something different. Maybe a quiz or something like that, an easy quiz, and we'll do some giveaways and stuff like that. I've not done it for a while. So, yeah, we'll do a giveaway next Sunday. I'll put on the YouTube channel what it'll be once I've thought of it. If you have any ideas as well, what you want it to be next Sunday, drop it in the comments of the YouTube channel, and I'll go through it and see.
We do read your comments in there, by the way. I do. I like to keep up to date with what you're all thinking. And just, I'd ask as well for all of us, if you can pass this PUBcast on to other City fans to have a watch of. You know, there's nothing offensive in what we're saying. It's a bit of harmless fun, and we're all just genuine City fans, and it's good to share.
Yeah, look at that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Challenge accepted, Super City. There you go. So we'll do that. Yeah, thanks for everyone who's joined us tonight. Good to see you as well, Julie. Top of the league and everybody. Andy Goldbridge, Alec. And we'll do it all again next week. We'll arrange something. Have a great rest of the week and take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody.